Welcome to Why Wine Without Wine. I am Hillary with Climb Strategies, Business Consulting and Leadership Development.
And I am Christina, owner of IAJ Media, and we are a creative agency.
Today we got lots of things to talk about. We have a guest who is...
So we're going to have somebody very special that we're going to pull on the other side of the camera for once. Clarito Zapanta, also owner of IAJ Media.
And I didn't get permission to say this, but they are married. So anyways, and then we have a book that we read that we are excited to share what we learned from, which is really good wisdom.
Yeah.
And then we're going to bring on a wine too, because you don't... What?
Wine without wine.
That's right, we don't wine without wine.
No.
It makes everything better.
Yes.
And then you don't have to do anything.
We need wine.
We do need wine. Hey, we would love to have some wine.
It's so demeaning.
Okay, so anyways, let's start with a glass of wine, shall we?
I think we should definitely start with a glass of wine.
Okay, so what do we have up today?
You guys think we should start with a glass of wine, correct? Yeah.
All right, should we bring on our guest?
Yes, let's bring on our guest.
So now we'd like to introduce our first guest on the show. Please welcome Clarito Zapanta from IAJ Multimedia.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, hey, welcome.
Of course. Yeah.
So, Clarito, what would you like to wine about?
Well, I'd like to wine. Well, I can't wine without wine, so I don't know.
First of all, we need wine to wine with. You
we
cannot
can
wine
fix
on the
that
show without
problem.
wine. Yes,
Yes,
we can.
that's an easy
Maxwell.
fix.
What are we drinking?
We have Maxwell here today with us.
All right. Oh, thank you, good sir.
Yeah.
What are we drinking?
So, our topic today is doubters and naysayers. And
Yeah.
so we want to hear Clarito whine about that topic.
And what I've noticed is that over time that people aren't really hating, more so as it's coming from something internally from them, whether it's concern, doubt, fear, or envy. You know what I mean? And it usually comes from concern that they love you so much that they want to impart their wisdom or their knowledge, like, oh, you can't do that, well, you need to make sure that you have this much saved, and whatever it is, mainly from what they've been taught or from concerns that they have for you. So it's not really hate,
Yeah.
Right.
or
It's a limited perspective is what it really is. It's like if we don't see how someone became successful before, we don't know how that journey takes place and looks like. Yeah, and so a lot of times if we don't know, it's just a dark gray area that we don't want to go into, and we don't want anybody we love or care about go into it.
Yeah.
It's the fear of the unknown.
Absolutely.
It really is.
It's
the fear of the unknown.
It's the unknown. They haven't seen anybody else do it, and they haven't seen anybody that they know do it.
And they haven't done it themselves.
They haven't done it themselves, which
key.
is a big deal. Yeah.
To never take advice from somebody giving you advice on something that they've never done themselves.
Yeah.
Because
So what are some
That's
things
just
that
not-
you can say to somebody that is doubting you?
Yeah.
That without putting them down, or without getting angry, without having a conflict come from it, what is something that you can do with a response?
yeah.
I mean, recently it's just been more of not talking about it too much. Like when it's mainly like our families, right, and close group of friends, because we've been bit by the comments, by the feedback,
Yep.
and while they hurt, now that we've understood where it's come from, we just don't address it, or if we do, we'll say things like, hey, we've actually said this in like some group threads or conversations, like, hey, don't say anything
Yeah. If you have
about
nothing nice to say,
if it's not constructive.
don't say it at all.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not constructive, there's no reason to bring it up, because all it's going to do is put out our fire, right? We have this fire. It's not stoking it. It's putting it out. It's like water.
But another thing you can do to kind of protect yourself from naysayers and doubters too is really just don't share so much. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you can share milestones that you've accomplished. But if you share the future that's unknown and you can't answer their questions, that's when they'll start doubting you, and that's when you can start doubting yourself even more too. So there's a lot of family and friends that mean well, but you don't necessarily have to share with them what you're doing, or you can say generally what I'm doing, but don't share the details if it's something, 'cause especially with the people you know that are going to give you a hard time.
Yeah, exactly. And as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of failures that come along with it.
It's part of the life,
It's
part of the
literally
journey.
part of the
Yeah.
journey.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to fail.
Yeah, no, hardcore.
We learn from it.
Yes,
we do.
And you improve. But there's a lot of failures, and if you share those failures, they focus on that instead of the victories.
Yes.
And it'll feed into that, and it honestly will feed into your own fears and your own anxieties about it. Instead of just when you fail, you move forward. You don't live in it, you move.
I mean, what company have you ever come across that started successfully?
Right.
Everybody would be
I want to know who that is.
Everybody would be an entrepreneur.
Yes,
He started successful.
Right?
Yes.
So you've got to fail. You've got to try things.
Yeah.
You got to, and you learn so much from failure. And sometimes I think we see that even in raising children, is we've just got to,
100%.
we got to let them
Amen.
fail a little bit to see that they can recover on their own.
That's true.
And it's not so crushing, you know, because that can stop you in your tracks. If you fail one time and you don't get back up and try again, that is going to be an imprint in your memory that you are a failure, and that has nothing to do with who you are. Everybody fails at something.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
So, Clarito, would you like any last thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, those are all really good things, like not sharing too much, or saying thanks but no thanks. But really, for me, what works is you actually use that as fuel, as energy to keep going. There's going to be plenty of times as a business owner or as an entrepreneur where things really don't go your way, and it's going to be hard to keep pushing. You can actually use that as extra fuel, For me, it's just like, I think in my head, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong one day. I'm going to crush this, and I'm going to keep making those calls. I'm going to keep meeting those people, and I'm going to keep, filming what I can so we can do what we need to do. So
Yeah, it's interesting human nature about when somebody tells you can't do something. You oftentimes want to dig your heels in and do it anyway, I mean, we know children who do that, right?
Amen, sister.
Yeah. So that's great. Well, thank you for coming on our show.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you.
Cheers.
I'm in on this
Cheers.
too.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Dear Hillary picked a great wine that goes right along with it. Wise guy.
Well, I should clarify though, we do not know the origin of the naming of this wine.
No, we don't.
And
But it
bless
just matched our topic.
Yes, bless
Wow.
the winemaker's heart, and it would be really fun to learn what the name comes up with, the history of the name.
Yeah.
So, but we thought it, with doubters and naysayers, it was kind of a fun pick
Yes, it
to
was
come in
perfect.
and bring in. It's like, so if you have a wise guy in your life,
Yeah.
just serve him a good Sauvignon Blanc. I think it's wonderful. It's crisp. It's clean.
It is. It's crisp clean, and it
Yeah.
really feels like I should be sitting in the sunshine instead of under these hot lights.
Yes, where's the
Drinking
sun?
this. Where is the sun?
Well, if we got
We
outside.
do live in Washington.
The sun still shines. I'll have you know.
It does shine.
You got to get out more. Next up, we're super excited to share with you a book that we read.
Yes,
Yes.
it was a good book.
You want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. Maxwell, you want to bring your book in?
Yes, bring our book out.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. And I won't. You have my book.
Oh, do I have your book?
You have my book with all my
If
notes
it's all
in it.
marked?
Yeah.
Yes, that's yours.
We really did read these books. It's based on the story out of the Pike Place Market with the fishmongers down there, and how much fun they have and what you can learn from them. And so,
In their culture.
yeah, and so we learned 4 key ingredients, and you want to talk about one of them?
Yeah, well, yeah, I will. So anyways, I did actually take this training a couple times throughout my retail life in a couple different companies, actually. So it was a nice little update when we got the book and we read it. And it's really about having fun in the workplace, and a couple of the things that they stress, and that would be, one is choose your attitude, because every day you wake up, you can choose the attitude that you're going to have.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
a lot of
Even if
people
you
don't
don't
realize
love your
that.
job, you can choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people don't realize that, or even think about that. Things, you wake up in the morning and things happen, and it gets you in that reactive state, and you're pissy and go, and it just goes. You can actually choose your attitude if you think about it.
Yes.
So choose your attitude, be there,
Play. and make someone's day, which is a really important one. And I think attitude trumps all of it, because you can't have a good attitude to do any of the others well.
No.
But making someone's day is really important, which is really which speaks to my heart. It's because it's making someone else smile. It brings a smile to you when you think about somebody else and be there for them, be present with them, and have fun with them. And so, if you ever get a chance to go down to the Pike Place Market, I would definitely go see the fishmongers. They throw fish around, and they include the audience.
Yeah.
They have a great time doing that.
Yeah, and that's the being there and making someone's day.
Yes, and focusing on them. So we are going to dig through here a little bit and see if we can find some favorite quotes that we found out of here.
Yes, I did find a favorite quote.
I've got my books so marked up, but I think some of mine are, whoever finds theirs first.
All right, I found it.
Okay, you go first.
So this is a quote that I really enjoyed from it. And it is, there's always a choice about the way you do your work, even if there's not a choice about the work itself. So even if you're doing something that you don't love, you can choose your attitude about that work.
Absolutely, and it will automatically improve your work environment and make it more fun. And one of the quotes that I loved here, it's that you could choose to live and to live fully, or you could choose to let life slip away in a series of missed opportunities. So, and that is the missed opportunities are the not playing, not being there for someone, being present, like really listening to someone, or spending time with your family, and making time for that, and then making someone's day. So, super excited about this book. It's a quick read.
Very quick read. It's nice and short and sweet. It's right to it. I loved it. Maxwell, come on out.
He's a little quiet. See if he wants to add anything, and
yeah, come join us.
Yeah. All right.
Hello, my friend who serves me wine.
Yes, so good, sir. Would you like to whine about anything?
Well, I would like my paycheck. Been on the set for how many days has it been?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been at least 6.
Get him. We have a cage for him in the back. I'm joking.
I have to pee.
So, we never know what we're going to have on the show when this guy sits down or walks by. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you drop in again. I'm Hillary of Climb Strategies.
I'm Christina, owner of IAJ Multimedia. And we really hope you have any ideas. We will have more guests on here, so join us with more awesome entrepreneurs that have more insight.
Yes, lots more topics to cover. I mean, an entrepreneur has so many things to think about and do.
And more wine to
and
wine
more wine. And we'll find a reason to whine about every topic we come up with.
So why would you whine?
Why would I whine? Well, for honest sake, it's really kind of important to get out of you what's bugging you and what you're working on, whether it's a roadblock, whether it's somebody, there's some conflict. So if you get it out and take a look at it, and you can kind of make sense of it a little bit, or if you can't, just
especially when you especially when you have a group of people that you're whining with, that you can actually engage with and talk about it, and maybe they have ideas that you don't have, and learn from each other.
Absolutely, and I think it's also really, really important, and this is something that we should all do, but in the business realm, is we want to be really careful with how we talk about people, even if they've been giving us a hard time, like the doubters and naysayers. And when you share with other people, don't share it in a way like this person is a jerk for saying something. Just share it in a way, yes, this is what I heard, this is how I responded, or learn from somebody else what's a great way to deal with this. Because if you get stuck in that negative feedback and start to turn on someone in a way and start talking bad about somebody else, it can put you right in the same boat as a doubter naysayer. And so you got to keep the perspective in a positive light, and that way you can move forward out of it. But if you let it stay in a negative way, it will eat you up, and that's not what we're here for. And you've got enough to do as an entrepreneur. Get back to work. All right, so thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend. Cheers.